getting to know Adam and Phil, and then maybe through that, getting to know Jane better. Let's start with Adam, and then we'll maybe popcorn back and forth.
Oh, popcorn.
Am I bringing up like bad school memories?
Yeah, I don't want to read and listen to Leo popcorn. It's like I'm not paying attention.
I don't want to do what let's
I don't know what paragraph we're on.
Damn, that doesn't work.
All right. So let's start with Adam. If you're just tuning in, this is an interview with the band members of Jane Astronaut. These two fellas, along with James, who could not make it sadly, but these two fellas here, they helped bring Jane Astronaut to life. Philip and Adam. So, Adam, you go first. Who are you?
So the behind the scenes of this is I asked Billy, are these going to be open-ended questions? He's like, nah, they won't be that open-ended. And then the first question is, who are you? That's okay. But anyway, I'm a dude who likes to play drums.
How about where you're from? What are your origins?
So I'm originally from Orange County, Westminster to be precise. In the burbs. I've lived in downtown LA for 3 years. And I basically live on top of the 110 freeway. So if you hear any crazy noises, that's what that is. And look at Phil. He's looking dapper.
I love how cozy Phil is right now.
Should I sit up?
No, please don't.
It looks like everybody's expending energy sitting.
I just like this chair. It's really comfortable.
Phil, who are you?
Oh gosh, who am I?
Yeah, who is Phil?
I don't. Yeah, you're right, Adam. I just like a bunch of uhs. Because if I say what I really feel, it's gonna sound like douchey. And then if I like don't say anything, it's kind of rude. So my name is Philip. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who I am. I still feel like I'm developing. I'm a young adult. The more old adult get in there. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Playing in this nice little band here.
So simpler, more direct question. Back to Adam. Popcorn. What do you play and why?
What do I play? I play drums. And this, I actually have a very specific answer. It was because I was too impatient to learn guitar. When I got to barring, first of all, I found out recently, Billy and I had a conversation about this, that the action on my acoustic guitar is very, very high.
Yep.
So I was thinking, like, I'm a shit guitarist. I need to give up on this, just hit things. So I gravitated towards drums. Once I got to barring, I was like, this is stupid. How do people do this? This is so dumb.
It's hard. It's hard on a guitar like the one you had.
And then I took one guitar class. I wanted to learn guitar, like, so I could like sing guitar and like, you know, because like, oh, you know, you're at a social gathering and someone picks up guitar and everyone joins in. You can't really do that with drums. But
you can pick up the drums though.
Real like my dad would say, you can't take a drum set to the beach and serenade, you know, a romantic interest. So, but so the long story is my uncle had a drum set. So growing up, I was always like gravitating towards that. And then my very, very good friend, my best friend growing up, got a drum set before me, and I was always over there playing it. And so finally my parents got me a drum set. But yeah, that's the long answer. But the short answer is because I'm too impatient for guitar.
All right, Phil, what do you play and why?
I play bass because no one lets me play guitar.
Oh, you really feel that way?
It's true. It's true. That's why every band I'm in, I play bass. No one lets me play guitar.
You have to assert your authority, Phil.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for Astral, when we were losing our guitarists, I was like, oh, I can play guitar. And then Victor was like, yeah, I think, oh, I know a guy. And I was like, well, I know a guy too. So we just settled on Brandon. Because I was like, he comes to our shows. If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be Brandon then. Because he comes to all the shows and he's cool. I know him. Dependable. And then
band, you gained a band member.
yeah.
When you said that Victor said, I know a guy, and you said, you know a guy, were you both talking about Brandon or were you talking
No.
about you?
We were talking about stupid. We were talking about different people.
Oh.
But yeah, I think that's the main reason why I'm playing bass today. Yeah, because even in middle school, my first time playing music in front of a crowd was the 7th grade talent show, and 2 of my friends were playing guitar, and they were like, "We should play a Maná song," and I was like, "Yeah," and then they were like, "You're gonna play bass," and I was like, "I guess I'll learn," because my uncle had a bass at the time, so that's we learned Oye Mi Amor. And we only, it's just bass and 2 guitars, no lyrics or anything. Like, no, we just played the whole song. They're like the best ones, I guess, compared to every. Oh, hey, Billy, who are you?
Billy. My name is Billy. I write all the Jane Astronaut songs.
That's true.
And I grew up in the South Bay. I'm a musician. I sing. And I like these people in my band. They're lovely human beings.
Practice that answer?
No.
That was a good answer. There was no ums.
Yeah.
It was like a speech.
Rehearsed.
What do you play? I play guitar.
Wait, I didn't ask.
Oh,
We didn't
sorry.
ask yet.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Billy,
Let
what do
Adam
you
ask.
play and why?
There you go.
I play guitar and I sing, and I do that because it's easier to sing and play guitar than it is to sing and play bass or sing and play drums. Are you in any other bands?
Oh, the truth comes out, huh?
So the only permanent fixture I'm in a band called Radio La Mancha with my good friend Edgar. We've been doing that band on and off for like 10 years ish, but it's had different lineups, different sounds. We went from a 2-piece, 3-piece, 4-piece back to a 2-piece, and that's kind of where we're at now. We just came out with a full-length album in May. So yeah, that's it. But Jane and Radio La Mancha are the 2 mainstays.
Nice. Now, how about yourself, Phil?
I'm in 2 bands, which is this one, Jane Astronaut, and then the other one, which is Astro Doodle. That's it. Just those 2. The other band's nice. There's a lot of us. There's less people in this band. All right.
Billy,
Yeah.
are you in any other bands?
Oh yeah, sorry.
I am. I'm in one other band. They're called Mind Monogram.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And they're dope. I've seen them live like probably 6 or 7 times. And I've seen Astral Jubilee live probably like 6 or 7 times, but I think like 2 or 3 of them they were playing with us.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say all those shows we played together.
Why? Why are you in Jane Astronaut?
Oh, to me or to
To
Phil?
Adam.
Oh, okay. Do you want the long answer?
Yeah, we got time.
Okay. The long answer is back in, I would say 2012, 2013-ish, I was trolling the internet for bands to join. And Mr. Billy here had posted an ad like, hey, let's, the typical like searching for bandmate ads.
Must be good.
Actually, I don't think I answered the ad. I think I stalked Jane Astronaut on Facebook instead. Then that opened up a dialogue, which I don't remember exactly how. I think it was just like me going, hey, I really like your music, because I really legitimately did. I listened to, the first thing I checked out was Inglewood. Oh, I think back then you only had 2 albums out. So it must have been 2013. So I listened to Inglewood and I was like, I really dig this. And then Billy and I actually got together and jammed once in my parents' garage, I think around that same time or maybe a little bit thereafter. And then like there was some awkward like whether we were going to jam again or not. And then basically I was like, I don't have a job right now. I'm broke as a joke. You live in Hawthorne / Inglewood. I live in Westminster. I don't know about this. But I kept following Jane. So then Ordinary came out and I really dug that too. And then fast forward like 5 years into the future, I saw that Jane was doing acoustic shows. So I went and checked one out. And then I don't know what came over me or why, but I was like, oh, hey, Billy, it's me, blah, 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 remember, blah, blah. And we just got to talking. And then
you messaged me on Facebook just like you did however many years ago.
Oh, that's right. Because I didn't want, I remember now, I didn't want Billy being like, who is this weird guy following me around everywhere, pretending like he knows me. So I was like, I messaged Billy and I was like, hey, I want to come to your show. Like, do you mind? I'm not going to know anyone there. Do you mind if I like kind of hang on, like be a hanger on?
What?
Like I didn't want him thinking like I'm just his little baby duck following him around. Next thing you know, Billy's like, hey, want to come jam sometime? And I'm like, yeah. And I didn't know at first. I don't know if I ever told you this, Billy, but I didn't know at first you meant like for Jane Astronaut. I thought you just meant like, let's jam. Like, let's just do some tunes, man. So then I get to James's dad's house. That was where we were jamming at first. And I think you busted out a couple Jane songs, and I like knew them because I'd been listening to the albums for the last 5 years. So I knew these songs already, and I felt like such a nerd. But at the same time, you were probably like, "Oh, this guy already knows the songs. Like, it's a natural fit." So
you have no idea. I was so stoked.
Billy, did you feel famous at that point in time? Because you were like, or whatever that feeling is, you're like, "Oh, someone knows my music."
I don't know if famous is the right word to describe it.
Like you get a big head, inflated eagle.
I was just really stoked. I was super stoked. I was loving it for sure.
That's dope. I didn't know that story.
But I always tell people I'm in this band because I'm a fan, and I know that sounds like a line, but it's 100% true. I'm like, I listened to those 2 albums for that period in between the first time Billy and I jammed to when I joined Jane Astronaut.
Yeah, I think I joined the band for the same reason. After I saw you play at, was it the, no, not the Edge.
Was that tiny spot in South LA?
Yeah, we were just playing acoustic by yourself, and I was like, hey, this guy's pretty good. And then I said hi to you, and then I think I saw you. I don't know when I saw you again. But yeah, anyway, I'm a fan. Huh. That's why I'm in the band. Just like him.
So Billy.
Yeah.
Why did you start this band?
When I was a more tender age, I would go to like backyard shows and stuff. And I'd be stoked that there were shows, but there'd be a part of me that's like, I wish there was stuff that was a little more closer to what well, was really close to my heart. That resonated a little bit more, like tonally and stuff. It was a lot of metal and punk in my parts. And like anything that came close to indie or alternative still had like a lot of that flavor. Like sort of the real edginess of like punk or something. So yeah, that was like maybe one of the bigger reasons, like no one else is doing that. Like I have to do that. And keep in mind, in that era, when I started playing guitar, like certainly there were cool, like really cool bands that resonated with me elsewhere, but like in my, little corner, my little nook of the world, there was not really anything like that. So I wanted to be that.
South Bay.
Inglewood.
I have a follow-up if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
This isn't a judgment. It's just I'm genuinely curious. And maybe our future fans will be too, if we could bring some along with us. There's been like periods of downtime for Jane Astronaut. What sort of things went into those long periods of downtime?
Oof.
You could just general. I mean, you don't have to like. I don't mean like, something really personal. I just mean like generally.
Well, the biggest stretch was probably 2014, 15 to about the time where I re-met you, Adam.
I think it was March. We re-met in May. I came and jammed with you, I think.
So yeah, it was about 3 years was the longest kind of hiatus for that project. When I first let it go, 2015-ish, like I was still doing music, but I had just met James, which is our keyboard slash lead guitar, who was not able to make it today. I just met him, and we were starting another project, and I had this this decision. I felt like I had to choose, like, should I keep doing Jane Astronaut, or like starting a new project and like seeing where that went. And that was really fun, especially the early days of that, which is a project called Big Slumber, where I can still say like the early days of that were some of the, the prettiest moments in my life. But yeah, shortly after I joined that band, and then I met the guys from Mind Monogram, and I joined that band too. And somewhere around there, like, I think I almost completely let it go. The idea of like doing Jane Astronaut again. There's maybe a far away, like a really distant pulse, like in the back of my head. And then, at the end of 2017 came, and, it was a really, really rough time for me personally. And something came over me, and I decided to, pick it back up very slowly. And at that point I was in 3 bands and trying to have a job and, be there for a relationship, and nah, it just wasn't working. So like a lot of things kind of fell apart, and I had to make some tough decisions. But then ultimately, like, Jane Astronaut became like a huge part of my life again. And now we're here.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, this my next question, actually, you guys already answered it.
What was it?
It was, how did you find Jane Astronaut?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
By
Adam,
accident.
you mentioned that, and by accident, both of you.
Yeah, I was trying to leave early, and then I was like, I gotta watch this guy play, I guess. Because I think I said hi to you before we started playing, and I was like, now I gotta watch him play. Not that I don't ever stay.
Thanks for sharing, Phil.
I'm glad I saw you.
I remember thinking, and I feel like I tell you this every once in a while still. I remember seeing you and being like, damn, that guy's got good pants.
Oh, you thought so?
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, it's been
snazzy
a good-
trousers.
Been
Oh,
a good 2 years without denim.
No,
I think I know what pants you're talking about, unless he got rid of those pants and got newer pants.
Ooh, which ones?
They're like gray and they have a pattern. I don't know if it's what the pattern is, if it's like nail head or.
they just came down in like a really natural way around your ankle, and I was like, that's a good ass pair of pants.
No one's ever talked about my ankles that way. What's the next question, sir?
Next question. What's well, and I'll pop back to Adam. What is your favorite memory in Jane Astronaut?
Phil, if you think of yours first, go ahead.
I think mine has nothing to do with any of the like the practical things we've done. It's just I think it's just bugging James. and then like I didn't really know him, but I can tell the humor wasn't always clicking. And then he got me back, he fired back, and it's always stuck. You know, he makes fun of the way I laugh. And that's okay. And I appreciate that. I think that's my what was the question? I just wanted to bring it up. But yeah, that's my favorite. One of my favorite moments. Is that what you asked? Favorite moments or favorite?
Yeah, favorite memory.
Yeah, that's my. It sticks with me now. I like that.
I can't think of a specific time, but just I like the times where we've hung out and just like went like I want to say like for some reason our spot was Little Tokyo. I've been to Little Tokyo with you guys like probably 5 or 6 times. Everything's 5 or 6 times tonight, but and it's just fun getting food and drink and going to grocery stores and things of that nature.
Aww.
A lot of good memories.
I want to know Billy's though.
Here we go. He's got a good one, huh?
Ooh. When we went to when we had like a Jane Astronaut like Christmas dinner or lunch, or I forgot what time of day it was. It's like
the Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, we went to the Japanese restaurant.
Oh, he's showing his little present.
Oh yeah, and then I gave you guys a little gift and stuff.
Yeah, I still got my little letter.
It even says Adam on it.
Oh, my box is somewhere in my room.
That was fun.
But yeah, that was really fun. I really like. Yeah, we just hung out. We had some food, and then we may have gotten some honeybee.
I got honeybee. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really fun. Well, this might be a weird one, but do you have a worst memory?
Worst memory. I'm gonna go first. Sorry. Was when James was like, "Hey, we're gonna practice to a metronome," and I was like, "Oh, this isn't necessary." And then Billy was like, "We're gonna practice with the metronome. I told you." And I was like, "All right, guys, relax." And then I was like, "Why does the song sound so much slower?" And I was just having a hard time grasping this new concept. I never realized like how slow a song could feel when you play it correctly. Is it in
Adam, do you have a worst memory? Or a stressful memory?
I have another one. Just kidding.
I mean, this is just my being a baby, but we played 2 shows back to back and went on really late both nights. It was like a Sunday night in Pomona and then a Monday night in LA. And by the end of that second show, I was so cranky, like I think I was mean to everyone, or I felt like I was being mean to everyone. And like I'd left, like I just walked out of the second place we played without saying bye to anyone. And I got into a fight with the person I was dating at the time. Like it was just not a fun night. But I mean, it had nothing to do with you, Phil, or James. It was just, I don't take sleep deprivation very well.
Every time I play a show on a Sunday at 10 o'clock, I want to quit the band. All my band, not just your band. I don't know, especially like when people you're supposed to go on and you're going on last, and then like people take forever, and it's like, can I please play so I can leave? 'Cause
The band right before that you play is like, do we have time for one more song?
Oh, Victor.
Oh, and the people then to see them are like, yeah.
And like every band after them is like,
It's time. It's like, dude, we got work. I have to go to work at like 6 a.m. I gotta drive home.
There was like a period where I was like resisting us doing like late weeknight shows. Like we were gonna play at Que Sera, which ended up being a great show, and I'm glad we did it. But it was like we were gonna go on at 11:30 or something crazy.
I didn't want to play either.
And I was trying to say like maybe these aren't the types of shows we should be doing, but like it ended up being a great show, and I'm glad we did it. But the flip of that was, so I went through a period where I was like resisting it, and then like we had a couple of really awesome shows with awesome people, and it sort of flipped me back into being stoked about the whole thing. But yeah,
I think, and that's why I stand by my idea that you should just play every show you get offered, even if they're really crappy and they're really late on a weeknight, because then you might meet Billy or you might meet Astro Jubilee.
Says the guy 2 minutes ago said, I gotta work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pissed. Like, I don't want to be there, but I mean, I'm, like, if someone's like, "Hey, we have a show. Do you guys want to play?" I'm like, "Oh, sure, let's do it." Yeah, because I've met the majority of everybody, like in our little circle or extended network, is someone we've met like a crappy show at some point. So yes,
thank you for sharing, you guys.
Yeah, what's your worst memory?
Maybe there was one moment where it wasn't like, I wouldn't say it was like crappy or anything. I was just anxious, a little anxious and a little bit stressed.
Oh, I know. Wait, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
We were gonna play this like Halloween festival show in Long Beach, like on a pier or something like that.
Was that when I first showed up?
Shoreline Village.
Yeah, Shoreline Village, and it was
Zombie Walk in Long Beach.
It was gonna be, I think it was gonna be our first show with Phil.
Yeah.
And I was so stoked that we were a 4-piece at that point. That was because I don't know, that's just what I felt that Jane should be. And we had practiced a bunch, and I thought it was like a cool opportunity, that show. And then like we got there, we set up, and we were ready. We were set to play, but it was just me, Adam, and James there. Phil hadn't gotten there. We were cutting it real close to the point where like James, who had been before Philip joined, James had been like the 3-piece bassist, and he was switching. He was already switching. He was like taking his guitar off, getting out of keyboard duty, and like putting on the bass. And and then Phil showed up.
And I was like, why is this guy wearing bass?
As last second as it could be, but I had like the biggest feeling of like happiness and relief. No, I was so glad that you made it.
But you said that was your worst memory.
It was just kind of anxious.
That's kind of weird, because that was your worst memory. I mean, you've lived for like 40 years, and that's your worst memory.
40 years.
That's a little rude.
No, that goes to show I don't have a ton of bad memories from this project at all. Like that being one of the anxious ones is like kind of nothing.
Yeah, I don't know, because like my worst memory is like the Kennedy assassination or the Bay of Pigs, and you're like, oh, Philip, out of all the things in history, like that's your worst memory.
Phil, I didn't know you became a comedian during the pandemic.
What are you talking about?
Is this part of your set?
Sorry, this is actually my podcast. Welcome to my podcast. You've been I was kidding.
We blazed through this.
We did. What's your favorite song that we've played? Like, what's your favorite song to play in Jane Astronaut?
As a drummer, so this is hard to. I'm going to give a complicated answer because that's just how every answer is complicated for me. As a drummer, I like I'm Sick. It's the most fun to play because it's got everything. It's got tom grooves. It's got fills. It's got I could be loud at parts. I could be quiet at parts. It's got the whole shebang. But as a band, I think I really like Yeah Yeah No No, just because I feel like we're all stoked on the set by that point. We're all like, because we always did it last, so we're like well greased. We're all like into it. We all got the right energy, and then like the crowd, that's a crowd favorite. And it's just fun. It's just fun and bouncy. So there's my compound answer to your simple question.
Dig it.
How does I'm Sick go?
To this day, he doesn't remember the song titles.
It starts with a keyboard. Ba, 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 ba. Remember?
Oh, something, I'm sick.
I think I'm kind of sick.
Yeah. Something in the way.
And then the drums like boom, boom, ka boom, 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 ka boom, boom.
So is that, you're saying that's your favorite?
That song?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's my least favorite. Nah, it's not my least favorite. My favorite song, I think Bugs is. We've only played it a few times, but I already know it's like my favorite song to play. And that other song, wait, hold on, I'm just trying to think about it. Give me a second. What is it? Ah?
Oh, we've only played that a couple of times too.
I think we only played it in practice. Right?
Yeah, we may not have played it as a 4-piece live.
Yeah, that's a good song.
We should rotate
Is that what
that.
it's called?
Yeah.
For the record, it's AWE.
Oh.
Last question. Favorite song off the new album?
What song's on the new album?
You just pick a number, 1 through 12.
Oh, what?
Bye, Phil.
Oh, no, I didn't leave. I was like, I have to check now. Like, there's 12 songs?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Hold on, give me a second. Oh, okay. I'm thinking about like new songs, okay? Not like a combination of like new with like a little old.
Okay.
Is it called All of This?
Track 2?
So I was on a long drive, and that song starts with like, well, no one's heard it yet, so sorry, I'm spoiling a little bit, but it starts with some birds chirping, and then it has this kind of like, I'm a huge Grizzly Bear / Daniel Rawson fan, so it like there's a part that kind of has that kind of like vibe. It's not like a Daniel Rawson clone, but it just kind of has like a little, like, and I'm like, ooh, and then it kind of turns into this big thing. And then there's like this guitar solo. So now I'm spoiling the whole song. But hopefully I'm hyping it. Then there's this big guitar solo that's just so Billy. It's like, oh, that's a Billy guitar solo. I could recognize that from.
What how would you describe that? What is a Billy guitar solo to you?
Well, I don't know like the theory behind it. Like I don't know if it's the key, the scale, blah blah
or even
blah.
the feeling. Like, is there a feeling that sort of thing gives you?
It's the feeling it gives me. It's the notes that you choose. It's the tone, definitely. It's a very Billy guitar tone. And it's like, I don't want to say this because it might come off as a negative, but it's just like very dramatic. But I mean that in a good way. Like, in other words, if it wasn't dramatic, it may be boring, but it's like very dramatic and like, grandiose. And yeah, I just like how the song just all kind of builds up, but then it ends very suddenly. And I was very sad because I was like, I really love that song. But then we had a conversation about it, and I've just been keeping in mind what you told me, which is, I guess I'll just share. It's better to have the song be a little bit shorter than you want than be a little bit too long. So I've just been keeping that in my brain. So it's called All of This. Check it out
when it comes out.
And how about you, Phil?
Yeah, I already said mine, so we're good.
I think you said bugs, just to be clear.
Yes.
There's a question I was supposed to ask earlier, but I kind of left out, but your answer kind of brings it back up. So the question is, Jane Astronaut is quite different now than it was before. Do you like it still as much as like what you first heard? Or does it still resonate with you the way it did when you first heard it?
It's still, to give a very serious answer, it still resonates with me, but it's different because I know you as a person. So instead of just being like, oh, I like this music, it's like, oh, I wonder what Billy was going through when he wrote this song, you know? It seems that each album is like a snapshot of your the year or 2 years leading up to each album. So I really like that, and I'm really stoked on it. But yeah, still resonates with me. But it, I get to really hit that point home. It's just different because it's like, oh, I know Billy now as a person, and I imagine this song has something to do with his life, or maybe just something he thought sounded neat. So,
thanks for sharing, Adam. How about you, Phil?
I feel like I'm not that deep of a thinker. Like, no, I'm not trying to be funny. No, I mean, sometimes there's certain songs we play and I'm like, okay, I think he's sad. But, yeah, from when I first heard you play, I was like, wow, this band's great. I gotta be in this band. And then I joined the band and I was like, man, this is hard work. And then I felt like a little, I don't know, because when I first found out about you, I was listening to your music and I was like, oh, this is cool. This is all good stuff. And I thought you sounded like Elliott Smith a bit, like some of your songs, because they're all good and dramatic and sad. But yeah, we've been playing for a couple years, which is weird. And I think for me, I was hearing the same songs over and over again. And I was like, this is cool. But those were the only songs, like the Jane songs I was listening to because we were just playing them. And then you came up with the new stuff and I was like, all right, this is good. Like, it's fresh and it sounds good. And now, like, feel energized.
I think just to keep this recording not too crazy, I'm going to stop it here and do a little outro.
I got too controversial, huh? Are you going to stop me now?
McDonald's.
Thank you for tuning in, if you tuned in. And thank you, Adam and Phil, for taking some time to answer some questions. And check out the album. It's called Nostalgia. It's coming out March 19th, which I think is a Friday. But yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening and all that. Hope you have a good day, good rest of your week, good rest of your life. All right. Adam and Phil.
Have a good life. Good luck, losers.
Adam and Phil, thank you. I love you. I love you both very much. I love you too, James. I'm sorry you couldn't make it.
I love you all.
I know